Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. It is Chris here for a brand new series this season from the channel, 5 Things We Learned. Today we will be looking at what we learned from Newcastle United's victory against newly promoted Nottingham Forest. So, if you do like this channel, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon as well. Get notifications of every single video which does get released. There will be a lot more coming this season. If you do want to become a member, it is £2.99 per month. That's what it starts at. You can go higher. It helps us out massively. Helps us with the upkeep of the channel. And let's go from here. So first up, first thing which comes to mind of the things which we learned from this game is distribution. There was a lot of talk before kickoff who was going to get that starting spot between the sticks. New boy Nick Pope coming in. A lot of people felt that Dubravka, a little bit harsh on him that he didn't get the nod to start the game. But did we see today why it was Nick Pope who got the all clear to go? We saw straight away, Nick Pope, he is very comfortable on the ball. He looks at distributing the ball as fast as possible, something which we have struggled with in the past with Dubravka. Whether that was Dubravka being told to slow the pace down because previous season will have been pretty poor on the ball. This season will look like a different animal. End of last season, should I say as well. So Nick Pope, like I said, looks very comfortable on the ball. Not just that, he looks at throwing the ball and rolling the ball out, and that gets us on the front foot straight away, straight to somebody's foot. We're not lumping the ball forward. Hopefully, waiting for Callum Wilson to pick that up. It's steady play, and something which has impressed me today. And not just that, and not just the distribution as well, but Nick Pope very comfortable at collecting crosses. I think there was only 2 or 3 times which he did have to do it in the game. First time, dropped the ball, picked it up straight back, no danger whatsoever, despite dropping it. Second one, comfortable, comes out, leaps up. It's his all day long. So yeah, going forward, it looks like Nick Pope is that number 1 pick for Newcastle United in goal. What does that mean for Dubravka? Does he stick around? Did you look at it having the option of moving away? Time will tell. I can't see Dubravka sitting on the bench. He's not that sort of keeper. He'll want first team football. So we'll see what happens with that. Second up, Alan SaintMaximin. The man, the magician that many people like to call him. He looked like a different player today. We saw sparks of this last season where Saint was looking at getting in dangerous positions and passing the ball, not being too greedy with it and not trying that extra step and losing the ball and losing possession, something which he has done previously. He looked fantastic today. The amount of times that he found himself on the left wing and didn't run to the byline but looked at cutting inside and bringing the likes of Callum Wilson, Joe Willock into play. And I thought Joe Willock had a fantastic game today. Not to take that away from Saint with this being Saint's topic, but Saint today, he looked very, very dangerous. Long may it continue. He looks committed. He looks driven as well. One lucky fan gets a watch from Alan SaintMaximin once again. Leaves St James's Park, dishing out watches left, right and centre. But he's our guy. He's just tweeted there, black and white forever. He's absolutely fantastic. I want to keep him at this football club for as long as possible. I really do. And I think with the quality of players that are around him, Alan SaintMaximin will see a future at this club, where possibly previously that he's looked at possibly using Newcastle United as a stepping stone. That's not us any longer by the looks of it. We are ambitious club now. We look at going places. We look at challenging for things. I know it's first game of the season. I'm getting a little bit carried away here. But Saint today, fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. Next up, link up play. We can't go through any video whatsoever on this channel without saying the name of Bruno Gomez. His link-up play, his through balls to Miguel Almiron were breathtaking. I lost count throughout that game, just how many times he put us through in on goal. 9 out of 10 times it was Miggy, and Miggy got man of the match for me today. Absolutely fantastic, Miggy. closely followed by Bruno, who he links everybody together. He really does. He's the glue of that midfield at the moment. We saw last season what he could do in regards to in front of goal and being a goal scorer. Today, we saw what he's going to bring in regards to assists. Yes, he didn't get an assist today, but he created umpteen chances for player to put the ball in the back of the net, especially in the first half. If it wasn't for a bit of I don't want to be too harsh, but a bit of sloppy play in the final third, a bit of weak shots, not powerful at all. They really went straight at Henderson. I don't think there was many that Henderson was troubled with in relation to saves. But for me, Miggy, Bruno, Kieran Trippier, Joe Willock today, the way that little section of the pitch, so going up the right hand wing and then coming across into the middle, it looked lively. There's been a lot of debate in relation to what happens with the right hand side of that on the pitch now for Newcastle. It's an area where Newcastle have looked at investing along with a striker, but that's Almiron's spot to lose now. Like I said, man of the match for me. It's carried on from pre-season and what we saw in pre-season from Miggy and towards the end of last season as well. It looks like the players have picked up where they've left off, and even more so, they're giving that extra bit more. Eddie Howe said they've worked really hard in pre-season for this day and the start of the Premier League. We saw that today, absolutely levels above Nottingham Forest. And yes, Nottingham Forest are a newly promoted team, but you've got to remember it's their first game back in the Premier League for 20 odd years now, and 62% possession I think it ended for Newcastle, something which we're not used to as Newcastle fans. We're normally happy to share that one out, but dominated throughout. I think it was 10 shots on target, 23 in total. That's unheard of for this Newcastle United team, and you can see that it has been worked on in pre-season, and we aren't here to be in a relegation fight. We are here to basically, I don't want to say too much because this will get clipped and there'll be fans out there thinking, oh, they've won 2-0 against a newly promoted team and now they think they're going to win the league. Far from that, it's not, but we are here to compete. Newcastle United aren't the Newcastle United of what we've seen over previous seasons where we're going to be in a relegation fight. Fingers crossed. This team looks completely different. The drive, the commitment, and the quality in that team is second to none right now. It really isn't. I can't remember a Newcastle team which has looked this connected and this bonded, and that everywhere on the field. It really is. Like I said, Bruno Gomez is one of the reasons why that midfield and attacking third of the field looks so strong, because he is bringing everybody into play, whether that be Joe Linton, Joe Willock, Miguel Almiron, Callum Wilson. I'm hopeful of the future with Bruno in that midfield. I really am. Next up, moving away from Bruno. Next up, sexy goals. This team, some of the goals which we have seen since Eddie Howe has taken over this football club is breathtaking. It really is. We saw two today. So Fabian Schär, almost a carbon copy of the goal which he scored against Burnley back at St James's Park as well. Today, Schär and Dan Burn, Sven Botman was very unlucky not to start the game, and rumours are that he wasn't happy that he wasn't in the starting 11, rightly so. A player coming in with the reputation which he has and being on the bench when he was guaranteed starter for his previous club. Of course he's not going to be happy, but that's what we want. We want that competition in the team. It's going to be even harder for him now to get in that team, but we'll speak about that in a minute. But sexy goals, Fabian Schär and Callum Wilson. If there weren't absolute Adonises already, scoring goals like that just puts that up the next rung on the ladder. It really does. Fabian's goal, absolutely mind-blowing. It really was. Henderson had no chance whatsoever. Fabian does what he normally does, picks the ball up. He slips slightly. If you haven't noticed, he does slip slightly. He gathers his feet again, and he literally takes a couple of steps and lashes Absolute laces through that ball. Top corner, Henderson, no chance whatsoever. Move on to the next sexy goal. I'm not even sure if this one is more sexy than the first one, because Callum Wilson, how has that even crossed his mind to do that? It's crazy to think. Julian on puts the ball in, if I remember right, and Callum Wilson, he's running away from goal and he's running towards the corner flag, and outside with his boot, he just curls that round. And once again, I've just said it again, Henderson had no chance with that one as well. He really doesn't. And those two goals scored by probably the best looking players on the team, arguably. And it's probably two of the sexiest goals that you'll probably see this season from Newcastle United, if not in the Premier League. But Newcastle United, apparently, all that we do right now is score sexy goals. Fifth and finally, topic, 5 things we learned. Headaches. Eddie Howe now has yet another selection headache. Going into this game, it was probably a flip of a coin of who was going to be starting in regards to Dubravka and Nick Pope. That is now Nick Pope's to lose. He had a decent game today, like I said. Didn't really have to do much, but he did have a good game overall. I don't think Forrest had a shot on target, if I remember right. But when called upon, he did his job. For me, what I mean in regards to selection headaches is that if we look at the two centre-backs, which I just touched on there, Dan Burn and Fabian Schär, I think most fans would have probably anticipated to see Sven Botman in there. Wasn't the case. It really wasn't. He made a cameo appearance in the last couple of moments of the game, the last couple of minutes. Game on. A great round of applause from the Newcastle United fans in St James's Park. But Eddie Howe now has once again, he's got a player at his disposal, just like we did back in January with Bruno, that right now he's probably not going to get straight in that team, because Fabian Schär, once again, just like Henderson, didn't have much to do really, but he scores that absolutely phenomenal goal. So there's no way Fabian Schär is dropping out of that team. Dan Burn had a few chances up top. The ball was chipped in and crossed into him quite a few times in that first half, and he just couldn't get enough power on it. He couldn't put it in the right direction. But if you look at that side of the field, when called upon in a defensive role, he's like a brick wall. Like, you shall not pass Dan Burn. He looked like the defender which we saw last season. Absolutely solid, absolute rock. He really is. So will Sven Botman get in that team? I don't know. You probably don't know. Eddie Howe right now is probably thinking, I've got this absolutely fantastic world-class player, really, with such a high reputation across the world football, and he's not going to get into this Newcastle United team unless there's a suspension, an injury, or a bad performance, really. I think he's going to spend quite a few weeks on the sideline. I really do. I'd be very shocked if going into the next game against Brighton that Eddie Howe will change anything unless he has to. So that's up to him. He's manager of this football club. He has to deal with those headaches, not us as fan base. All that we can do right now is take that moment in. We'll start the season with an absolute fantastic performance. 3 points, clean sheet, head held high. We go to that Brighton game looking for yet another 3 points. Last season, it took 14 games to get 3 points. It took 90 minutes into the first game of the season. So looking forward to the 2022-23 campaign. Fingers crossed it's a good one. I'll see you on Monday night for the Always Smiling Faces podcast. See you around.